Tracking this cold spring storm hitting California, I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods, and it was a big blast of cold air coming in as well as relentless rain for some of us. The cold spring storm focusing on the valley and the foothills, soon to move through much of the Sierra. Temperatures dropped some 20 to 30 degrees from yesterday. And for our snow, it's down to about 3,000 feet in some pockets. Here's a look at the rundown of 24-hour temperature change. About 15 to 28 degrees, almost 30 degrees earlier today for a drop in temperatures for Modesto, 20-plus degree drop for the foothills, and about 5 to 15 degrees for the Sierra. Now, what's interesting is our temperature in some places throughout the Sierra a little bit warmer than the valley. South Lake Tahoe at 45 degrees is going to be warmer than Elk Grove at 44. Also warmer than Placerville, which is lower in elevation, which should typically be a little bit warmer. But again, some of us getting that cold blast of air a little bit earlier than others. So you can see how the temperatures earlier this morning were in the mid 50s. And then as that cold air worked in, we dropped into the 40s by the noontime hour. And then we've stayed pretty steady at that elevation. As far as our snow forecast, we were expecting that to drop to about 4,000 feet. That's where it's steadily coming down, but we've seen some pockets down to about 3,000 to 3,500 feet over Sunday afternoon. We're going to see that rise to about 6,000 feet because we still have a little bit of lingering showers at that point. Here's a look at the radar, and you can see right now that we do have a little bit of snow shower activity. Really not too problematic, though. I was trying to get that Caltrans camera up there for our road conditions, but it wasn't loading for us right now. Our bigger picture showing the rotation of that low pressing the showers inland, and especially through the central and southern Sierra, where we were expecting this to be a harder hitting storm. 80-50 corridor, we're getting some spotty showers, but not so much in the way of widespread or persistent snow activity. More so along Highway 50, I-80 not quite in on the robust action. 80-50 corridor through the foothills. It is rain, and of course we've been dealing with almost relentless rain throughout our Saturday throughout the Central Valley. As we move our way southward here, south of Highway 50 along 88, 89, 4 and 108 as well as 120. We are looking at areas of snow that extends all the way through Yosemite and places southward as well. We've got our winter weather advisory in place through much of this evening throughout the Yosemite area, and then a little bit farther to the north. It looks likely we'll keep that in effect until Sunday morning because of the lingering showers, especially on the north end of this. And you can see how that's transitioning. Overnight tonight through early tomorrow, we start to see the rotation of that low moving its way inland, but it'll produce more in the way of snow showers for that 80-50 corridor. I-80 running on the north side of Lake Tahoe, Highway 50 on the south side, and up towards Plumas and Lassen counties. We'll see periods of some light showers overnight tonight. We start off dry for the most part in the valley, some spotty showers around Grass Valley and up towards Quincy as well as in Yosemite. But then we have a slight chance of seeing some late day showers coming in, just again because of the placement of that low moving its way inland. Now that's still to be determined because this has been fluctuating where the position of that low actually moves inland. It's something we will be following heading into tonight. As far as our precipitation totals since midnight, it has been impressive. Now these went up just slightly before I updated the next graphic, so I will make a mention of that. As far as our rainfall totals, about a half an inch to over 3/4 of an inch, over 8/10 of an inch for Stockton. So for some of us, this is going to be the rainiest day on record for April 13th. There you see Stockton. I had it at 0.78, but it did go up to above 0.8 just within the last couple of minutes or so. Modesto, we're going to keep track of this one. Sacramento Executive, we've already exceeded that. And for downtown Sacramento, we'll continue to monitor that because, again, rain is still falling. So this was as of about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Additional rainfall coming in through tomorrow. There's not much, but for the northern San Joaquin Valley, we'll pick up about another 1/4 of an inch between 5 p.m. Saturday and through the day on Sunday, about another 1/10 of an inch or so for the foothills as well. Snowfall totals still piling up here, especially along I-80 where we really haven't seen too much in the way of snow. We'll pick up an additional 3 to 5 inches coming in for tonight into tomorrow. Lighter totals coming in through the central and southern part of the Sierra through tonight. Now, our snow water equivalent has been looking really good. You can see some of these numbers as we were wrapping up pretty much our snowfall season, we were above average, and we're going to continue to stay at that pace. So our statewide average for April 1st, 109%. When we were kind of wrapping things up, we were at 110% of average to date. Those numbers are pretty impressive at this point, continuing to see snowfall coming in through this year. So we've seen some melt because we saw some unseasonably warm conditions the past couple of days, but now we're going to put a little fresh dusting of snow out there. This is the time of year we really start to see that average monthly snowfall drop off. By April, we only see about 15 inches or so, that coming in from the peak of about 43 inches in January. Also, our normal rainfall starts to drop off in the month of April, only about 1.5 inches of rain. And then by May and June, pretty much just spotty showers coming in. We'll get a period of some light rain coming in here and there from a couple of systems, but overall nothing widespread or consistent at that point as well. Statewide precipitation, the numbers are still looking really good. We've got a few locations that are still below average. Sacramento is actually included in that, down about 1/2 inch, as well as Redding. South Lake Tahoe, total precipitation down 5 inches, but you saw that snow water equivalent when we wrap things up as of April 1st. That's really that date that the state looks at. How much water are we going to be able to pull in from that snowpack? And we were above average. So despite the fact that we see that precipitation number down a little bit, snowfall pretty healthy. As far as the central and southern part of the state, really great looking numbers here. Palm Springs a little bit behind, but again, that's the desert area, so we really aren't expected to pull in much moisture there. Here's the bigger picture of that low pressure system, and again, it's sliding southward along the state. That's why it's a really interesting trajectory as to where that moves inland, but all throughout the state, we're seeing areas of rain. Again, just taking you through that timeline on a bigger picture here. We've got the entire Sierra Spine getting in on some of the snow, where it's been a little bit on the weaker side throughout the course of our Saturday. Here's the rotation of that low starting to press its way inland. As it does so, top end of this will affect more of extreme northern California. Still seeing some spotty snow showers and occasional rain showers in the valley before that low finally moves out. And here comes the high pressure ridge and the warmer weather. So yes, we're seeing the cold conditions right now and the snow in the Sierra, but it's very likely a lot of that's going to melt quickly as we start to return to above average temperatures in the forecast by the middle of the next week. And if you're saying, okay, I'm done with all this cold weather, we are leaning warmer towards the middle and end of the month, and likely drier. Now, that's likely drier than average. Keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that we won't see any precipitation. It's just that we won't see the amount that we usually do at this point in the year. And you can see once we get rid of this system here for the weekend outlook, we dry out for several days. Digging in towards the end of the month, it's very possible we see another shower starting to press our way through extreme northern California and the Pacific Northwest. That will be one to watch. It could bring us renewed precipitation in our long-range forecast. In the meantime, this is about it. We've got our Sunday storm to deal with here as it starts to exit. That's the weekend weather system. You can see even for the mountains warming into the 60s. For the foothills, we'll get a few spotty raindrops in there for our Sunday. And then we're drying out for next week. Highs back in the 70s by Wednesday and Thursday. And the coast actually drying out as well and warming up back near 70 by Wednesday and Thursday. With our 10-day forecast looking pretty good, we have just that slight chance of showers coming in on Sunday. Otherwise, it's going to be a dry and much warmer outlook for the rest of the week with those highs back in the 80s. You want to check out our weather playlist? Well, download the ABC 10 app. We have our in-depth forecast as well as explainers and even our weather specials. We just wrapped our big, long series, The Future of California Water, talking about everything from water rights to desalination and even recycled water. Toilet to tap could be a reality. You want to check that out. It's ABC 10 Plus. That is our downloadable free app on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV.